Hello there, and welcome to Fandango Friday, June 5th, 2020. I have a fresh beer, relatively fresh. It's got a good date on it. Over 2 months left. It's George Killian's Irish Red, signed George Killian Lett, who did pass away. This beer is 5.4% alcohol. It's certified kosher. It's a lager beer. It's 169 calories, and it's brewed under license by Molson Coors since 1981. Now we have James Piranha Madonna.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Fandango Friday. Okay, what does counter-revolutionary Massa Tirio have this week? Massa.
Well, I have a beer that's brewed in the Irish tradition, and you know nothing says Ireland like Denver, Colorado.
Denver. Killian's Irish Red. I love it. I love it. It's an ale, right?
In the United States, it's a lager. In Europe, it's an ale. Well, it's brewed under license, and it has always been brewed by Coors under license for 39 years. It's the company in Europe is called Pelforth Brewing, and they let them brew a recipe that's considered adequate for their purposes, and like they say, under our strict supervision. Well, I mean, I'm sure they just say, do it right, and you got it.
The plant supervisor says, "Hey, do it the right way. You guys know what you're doing." Hey, Professor Dr. Dave Coulter himself, the one and only, has joined Fandango Friday.
Be careful using my full name.
Oh, Dr. Dave.
Yeah. Trolls abound.
Don't worry, we're the troll destroyers here.
Oh, that's great.
Well, I'm here in Louisiana, and Dr. Dave is up there in Ohio, and James Piranha Madonna is in New Jersey. So we've got the old Northwest, the old Gulf South, and New Jersey.
Was the Louisiana Purchase? It did involve Ohio, right? The Louisiana Purchase?
No.
Okay. Okay.
Only territory west of the Mississippi River, plus what's called the Isle of Orleans, which is an area east of the Mississippi River. The Isle of Orleans, which literally is an island, but a lot of people aren't aware of that. That New Orleans is an island on it. Well, the east bank of New Orleans is an island. The west bank is part of the state, the mainland. All right. Anyway, so I live on the Isle of Orleans, actually.
That's by the Delta, right? Mississippi Delta.
Well, the Delta is the east side of the Delta. The eastern section of the Delta is part of that. Yes, that's correct.
Okay. You got Killian's Irish Red, made in Denver, Colorado, right?
Yeah, it's 5.4, and somebody got a loud noise coming on. Let's see. Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that roar?
It's like a perverted troll breathing heavy.
Dr. Dave, you might want to go off and then come back on. Sometimes that'll eliminate any kind of technical issue.
Turn my volume down a little bit. Will that help?
It might, yes.
Does that do anything?
I think so, yeah. Because then
it could be the fans I have in here too. I apologize. It's the only room that I don't have air conditioning in. All the other rooms have air conditioning.
Yeah, it could be that.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any roar.
Fart Doctor, greetings. He's an endocrinologist.
Now,
No, a gastroenterologist. I'm sorry.
right.
Gastroenterologist.
So y'all see what I'm drinking now. What does James have?
Well, since I didn't get a chance to go to the liquor store and I'm taking this medication, forgive me for bringing a non-alcoholic item. Now, this is proof.
We don't dictate those things.
Well,
Okay.
I didn't get a chance. It's been raining hard every day here. So,
And 40.
yeah, this is proof that a brand name does not always surpass a store brand. This is So Delicious organic coconut milk from Whole Foods, but it's not. But the Whole Foods brand 365, all the non-dairy milks blow away all the brand names. So I'm laughing because it says So Delicious. Yeah, right. I tasted it already, and you shake it up, and so delicious. Yeah, sure. All right, now.
Now, wait, hold on a second. Dr. Dave, I'm going to mute it for a moment just see because that roaring's coming back. We're just going to do a few little technical things, but just sit tight. Okay. Yeah, that solved it.
I got it in the Banana King cup. Now, I'm going to taste it, even though I tasted it before. And So Delicious coconut milk, right. It has hardly any flavor. It has a very slight coconut flavor. I would not make a pina colada or a coquito or any cocktail out of this. It's very bland. They could have added more natural cane sugar to it, but they didn't. I'm going to give it a low score, but let me just check out the ingredients. Manufactured by So Delicious, dairy-free, Eugene, Oregon. All right. First ingredient, organic coconut milk, filtered water, organic coconut cream. I highly doubt that. Organic cane sugar, and a bunch of vitamins and natural thickeners and sea salt. Now, Eugene, Oregon, So Delicious, dairy-free. There's hardly any flavor to this. I am going to have to add some natural dehydrated turbinado sugar from Trader Joe's. I'm going to have to sweeten this up because it has hardly any flavor. And if anybody ever tasted a mature coconut without anything added, it is actually a very bland nut, if you want to call it a nut. I give it, as far as compared to the store brands, including Trader Joe's, which are fantastic, I'm going to give this a 70 out of 100, a D minus.
Now, I think a 70 is a C minus in my opinion, but you might be using a different scale.
No, you know what? Let it be okay. Hold on for a second. You're absolutely right. I give it. No, you know what I'm going to give it? I'm going to give it a 69. Not because I'm trying to be a wise guy, but I would say that would make it a D plus, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give it a 69 because you are correct. The 70 percentile, the 70 is the C. So 69, put the lime in the coconut and shake it all around. Well, it needs a lot more than lime, and I'm going to add some dehydrated cane juice called turbinado sugar, which the Spanish call panela with a P, because canela means cinnamon, but it sucks, and it's called So Delicious, non-dairy. Let me get my Mr. Magoo reading glasses. Yeah, So Delicious, dairy-free, Eugene, Oregon. Certified organic by Quality Assurance. I don't care if you resurrected Mother Teresa and got her and the Pope to certify it. This product sucks. I highly doubt dulce de leche. I've had the dessert called dulce de leche, and it is 1,000 times better than this. Tres leche too. You granola crunchers out there in Eugene, Oregon, go back to the R&D lab and work on this product more, because it is not so delicious. All right. That's it. I'm done.
All right, now here I am, and then we're going to go to Dr. Dave, and then whoever else joins. Now, look, one thing I'll say before I give this little expose on Killian's. Got to think about this now. I'm sure the product is rotten. I don't mean literally rotten. I mean, like
Sucks.
bad.
Bad.
But, you said that you doubted that what they were claiming on the ingredients list is actually in it. Now, let me say this. They had better pray that it's accurate, because if a company does that, makes a list and claims something's in it, and the government finds out it's not, they're going to have real problems.
That's fraud.
That's right. It's very strict. These labeling requirements are very strict, and I've gotten into conflicts with people. Now I see Ronnie S. I'm going to bring you in shortly, Ronnie S. He's in the waiting room. These beer, wine, and liquor labels, I've talked to people. They'll tell me, oh, that beer, it's not an ale. It just says ale. I said, no. I said, you need to get on the Tax and Trade Bureau website and read the detailed requirements. Now, of course, most people aren't going to take 2 hours to do that. But they're very strict. If it says ale, it had better be ale. If it says lager, it had better be lager. If it says blended whiskey, it better be blended, and so on. But anyway, back to this, and then we're going to go to Dr. Dave. But I have this red beer. Has a medium body. It's sweet, but not too sweet. There's some tannins, like you get with tea leaves, from the toasted barley malt. Bitterness is low, so it's very mild bitterness. I like this Irish style red beer. It has a lot of character. I would love to try the French brewed George Killian's. They call it Killian's. I can't think of the name, but it's the same similar thing with the horse on it. It's an ale, and it's about 6%. So I would like to try the French Pelforth brewed version, but I guess I'll never see it. So how would I rate this? It's enjoyable, and I have, I think, 3 bottles left. Yeah, it has a little bit of, I think, flaked maize in it, or it might be corn syrup. I don't know. But I think for a mass-produced Irish-style beer, it's a real winner. I'm glad Coors got the contract 39 years ago with the Pelforth Brewing in France. You see, this is not made in Ireland. The company went out of business in 1956. The family sold the rights to Killian's to a French company who started brewing it, and then that French company, Pelforth, gave the license to Coors in 1981. So that's the story. It's an Irish beer that hasn't been made in Ireland in 64 years, interestingly, and I don't even think it's sold in Ireland, but I would score it, excuse me, I think I'd be comfortable going with a 91. It's got some nice tannic qualities, tea leaves, I mean, and just, it's mild. It's not anything that's going to be super intense. And if you're looking for super intensity, you're just not going to get that. But it's a mild, mellow, good alcohol, 5.4 winner. So there you go. That's about all you can say about it. No use overplaying it. Now we're going to bring Dr. Dave and Ronnie S. back in. And Dr. Dave and Ronnie S. are going to tell us about their products, if they, in fact, are drinking any.
Hello. How's it going, everybody? Go ahead, Ronnie, if you want to jump in, go ahead. I don't want to interrupt anybody.
No, you're y'all. I added y'all at the same time, so you came on third, so I'll let you go third. Now Ronnie's over in Florida, and so what do you have tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
I've got Jaeger from Germany.
Oh, I had that once.
This is a very dry and bitter finish on this beer, and I've got it in a vacuum bin, which is the brand name. It keeps your beer cold, and it's almost gone. So my finisher for the evening, because I've been drinking the last 4 hours, is from a local brewery here. It's Masthead. I don't know if you all can see that. It's the best case scenario. It's a double IPA, and it's a very good beer. I've had it before. It's, I believe it says 8.3% alcohol and 90 IBUs. It's a tropical fruit beer. It's got guava, melon, it's got pineapple and passion fruits, and then it's got some nice malts on the backbone there, and then it's a very nice dry bitter finish. So it's a very good beer, and the best thing about this beer is the date stamp on the bottom. It's less than a week old. You can't beat it, man.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Was it expensive?
For a 4-pack, this is $13.99. So I don't know if you consider that expensive. I don't.
Yeah. Not these
4-pack
days.
of what, 16-ounce cans?
Yeah, 16-ounce can. And in price comparison, the Jaeger is in my neck of the woods here in Cleveland is $9.99 for a 6-pack of this is 11.2 ounce bottles.
And that's a beautiful beer. I drank it once, and I was just delighted.
Oh, it's a really good beer. Really good beer. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice aroma.
Looks like you're enjoying it.
Ronnie, I gotta tell you before I leave here, I used to live in St. Petersburg. What part of the Florida are you from?
Clearwater. So,
we were neighbors.
Yeah, same county, just north of you.
Yeah, Pinellas County.
Yeah.
I lived
That's
down
cool.
there a long time ago. As a matter of fact, they hadn't yet finished the Pinellas Trail, much to my chagrin, because I had to ride across 66th Street North, to pick up the trail. Oh my God, that street is crazy.
Yeah, that trail goes all the way up and down the county. That's a
Yeah.
good bike riding trail.
Oh yeah, man. I used to get my bike and I put it in my car and I'd go up to the Withlacoochee Trail that goes through Citrus County. Are you familiar with that one? No, it's just like the Pinellas Trail, only a lot less people. A lot less because so many people in Pinellas County.
Yeah. It's actually the smallest county by size, but the largest by population per.
It's the most densely
per square
populated.
foot. Yeah, the most densely populated. That's
right.
But
it's got the smallest land mass, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed that place. I was going to retire there a couple of years ago, and I said, I don't know if I could take the heat. I'm getting older.
Yeah, it is hot, man. It's definitely hot. There's a lot of rain the past few days. It's been a rainy week.
And I used to live for the sun. Oh my God! I used to live every night. I'd come home. I used to work at Barnett Bank when I lived down there, and when I'd come home, man, the first thing I'd do is hit that bicycle and head out to the trail.
Yeah. They call it the Sun Coast.
Yeah.
I like it. I've been here for about a year, almost a year now.
Yeah, he's from Long Island. He's from Long Island.
Beautiful down there. It's beautiful.
Now, how do you score the Jaeger?
I don't really give scores anymore, Jay. I don't know if you ever watched that video I made when I made this comeback on this channel, but it's as a former educator, it's difficult to differentiate between a 91 and a 92 and a 93. Let's just say that this is an A+ beer. As far as German Pilsners go, I'd recommend it hands down. It's one of the very finest Pilsners that Germany produces, and we'll just leave it at that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never heard of that one.
Yeah, it's I can tell you where to find it, Ronnie. There's a place called ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
Yep.
And that's where I bought it 2 years ago.
Where?
The
ABC?
one, well, it's probably at all of them, but the one I bought was on, I think it was called 4th Street in
4th
St.
Street?
Petersburg,
Yeah.
US Highway 92, US Highway 92. And it's not too far down from 4th Street Shrimp Company. It's on the northbound side of the road. It's a 4-lane road, and it's called ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. And I bought that Yever right off the shelf. And
Publix should sell that though, Ronnie.
I haven't seen it in Publix. I was just there today.
Well, I was going to say one of the larger Publix because they're not all created equal, but
Yeah.
ABC is not too much around as much as they used to be, and I haven't been there in a long time. But it's on 4th Street North, and it's close to the 32nd Street Shopping Plaza down there in St. Pete. I mean, it's right.
Okay.
You can't miss it. You can't
Honestly,
miss it.
I don't get down to St. Pete too often at all.
Yeah, well, I hear you. If I lived in Clearwater, I probably wouldn't be in St. Pete either.
I mean, not that I don't want to. It's just, it takes a little bit. It's like an hour away. An hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because there's no straight way to get there. Yeah.
Actually, tonight, they're supposed to have that First Friday thing in St. Pete, the first Friday of the month. But I don't know. There's a lot of rain right now, and there's also a lot of riots, so it might be canceled.
Yeah, you got to be careful, man. This.
Somebody asked me about the Killian's Irish Stout. I don't think it's still made, but I did really love the George Killian's Irish Stout. It was a stout that they were making, but it didn't make it. It didn't last. So now Ronnie's going to show us some beer.
All right, so I got a local Florida one. It's called Tropical Vibes. It's from Swamphead Brewery. I picked up a 6-pack just today in Publix in Clearwater. It was about $10, I believe, for a 6-pack of 12-ounce cans. I never tried it before. It's my first time. It's actually my first time ever seeing it, so I figured I'd give it a shot. It's got the certified independent bottle there.
Yeah.
It's out of Gainesville, Florida. 4.5% ABV. IBUs, it doesn't say. And it has the ingredients: hops, malt, yeast, water, guava, and mango. So it's got a little story here. It says palm trees, flamingos, beaches, sunshine. We've got it all here in the great state of Florida. And while Florida may not technically be in the tropics, it still emanates plenty of tropical vibes, right? I'm not going to read the whole thing. It's basically saying this is supposed to be like a tropical, fruity type thing, I guess. So here's how it looks. It had a nice head on it. You can see the lacing there. It went down a bit. It looks pretty nice. It kind of looks like a New England style IPA by the color, but it's definitely not. It's got that somewhat peachy or whatever kind of look to it.
Yeah, it's like a fruit smoothie.
So the smell, you can definitely pick up the fruit. I would say guava on the smell for sure. Yeah, I mean, even if I didn't know it had guava in it or, that particular fruit, I definitely say it smells like a fruity beer. You're picking up fruit esters, right? Is that what it is, esters?
Yeah. Little molecules that you can smell.
Then the first sip is goes down nice and smooth, and then on the way down, you can kind of pick up the guava fruitiness to it there. So it's got a fruity taste to it. It's not very, very heavy, I guess. It's light. I mean, it's only 4.5%. It says mango guava wheat on it. I don't really pick up wheat in it. I don't I like wheat beers, but I'm not picking up a wheat taste to it. It's just it's got a lot of fruitiness to it. Not a huge amount, but definitely. I mean, it's a fruity beer. It's an enjoyable beer. They say it's best enjoyed under a palm tree or something like that. Which it's raining out, and I don't have a palm tree here, but this is good enough.
Yeah.
So I like it. I'll contemplate on the grade for a little bit.
All right. Sounds fair.
Everything's better under a palm tree.
What'd you say?
Everything's better under a palm tree.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, have a lot of palm trees around here, especially in New Orleans, and a lot of them are full of parrots.
Oh yeah.
They came off these. Yeah, they came off these boats that come from like Costa Rica, or the boats might come from Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago, and so they come in to the port, and somehow the bird was on the ship, and it'll fly and be all around. They were around. They were around here a lot, but they were making so much racket. But then they disappeared. But they're in New Orleans. If you go to New Orleans, it'd just be making that parrot.
You have geckos from Asia in your region now too, from the ships.
All over. I had one in my house, and I tried to grab it. It ran off. So they eat mosquitoes, I guess. So I guess it's all right to have them around.
Yeah, there's little geckos here too. They don't bother you. I wouldn't want to have it in the house, but
we have parrots in Edgewater, but they escaped from their owners. They didn't like their owners, and we have a whole flock of them that survived the winter. I think they huddle by the transformer up on the telephone pole, and they're walking away every time I take a walk. The Whole Foods, they're like, "Rah, rah, rah, rah." You know, I can hear them. Amazing how they survived and reproduced up here in the Northeast. You know.
Yeah, and I got these two on the next street over. I got these two peacocks, and boy, when they start going, you can hear, you know, all the racket they make.
Yeah, they're loud. Yeah. Well, Florida is loaded with invasive species. Now there's cane toads. You know, those really big venomous toads from South America. They're in South Florida.
yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I read an article.
Have you ever heard of the love bugs, Ron? Do you get them over there?
Oh yeah, they're real bad. They get on your windshield and your bumper.
They're very annoying, but they only come around twice a year. Or that's like the mating season. So supposedly they're an invasion. They I think they started in either Mexico or Central America, and then they I think they came over on a ship actually in like the 20s. I think they started in like Louisiana, maybe that area there, and then they moved eastward, and they found they say they found a good home in Florida because they like the heat, so they stuck around over here. But they're actually not native to here, from what I've read about it.
And if you don't get them off your bumper, your paint.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is really crazy.
It will eat the paint.
It's two bugs that fly around. They connect to each other, and they're basically mating while they're flying around. And they only live for like 2 days, 2 or 3 days. Mm-hmm. That's their lifespan. We just finished up the season. It's May is mating season, and then I think the next one comes in October.
Yeah, around September here.
Okay. Yeah, it might be September here. I'm not sure.
The geckos make these chirping sounds like you can hear them in the morning, hear them in the attic. So James dropped off. He'll be back, I guess. And now we got these lizards that came in from the Caribbean somewhere, and they're chasing the anoles away. Anoles are like a chameleon lizard that is like a little iguana, and they can turn green or brown. And but they don't like to deal with these like more aggressive Caribbean lizards, so they go up in the trees and don't come down. And they took over New Orleans. These aggressive lizards took over New Orleans, and you don't see the anoles anymore. But I get them. The anoles are still around here. They're all around. I might see one in a minute. If they're on the brown fence, they'll be brown. See, if they get on brown wood, they turn brown. But if they get in the grass,
like a chameleon.
They'll turn green in the grass. And when they're fighting, the males are fighting, they'll bump their head back and forth like this, and then they'll have a big thing come down. Skin will shoot out below their mouth, and it'll be red. It's like a red strawberry when they're showing their warning sign. And I did a beer review one time, and two of them were behind me. I didn't see them, and they started doing that, and they started fighting in the video and fell.
Really?
I never did see it until I saw the playback.
I'd like to see that. What beer was it?
I can't remember. And everybody said, "Oh, that was a great video because we got to see a lizard fight."
Ron, how's the weather over there? I heard you're supposed to be getting like a Category 1 hurricane.
Well, it's quiet, right? It's quiet right now.
It's been on the news for about a week because they were thinking it might. It started in Gulf of Mexico down by Central America, and they were thinking it might come east to Florida, but now they're saying it's supposed to go straight up to hit Louisiana.
Yeah. Well, they're talking about it. We'll see what happens. Usually these tropical storms will suck all the clouds into them. So you'll have perfectly beautiful weather, and you think, they're crazy on the news, but you don't realize that it's going to turn bad soon. When it gets really clear and it's brilliant sunlight, that's when you start to worry. Because it's turning counterclockwise and it's pulling all the clouds into that tight knot. And when it suddenly starts to turn bad, then you say, I should have left. Dr. Dave knows about, but well, y'all don't get too many hurricanes on the Sun Coast, but
No. They had a bad one in 2017. That was Irma, I think of the name of it. That was a bad one.
yeah.
But that was the last time, and before that, they said they hadn't gotten hit over here for a long time. So this definitely isn't as bad as the East Coast for hurricanes.
Yeah, it's just your location is a good location.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to James, but I think he had to. He was looked like he was looking down at something. He wanted to go take it. Y'all want to see some beers I bought in this past week?
Yeah, what you buy there, Jay?
Sure, why not?
Okay, I'm going to go round them up. Y'all can talk if you want. It will only take me about 1 minute.
Cool.
I never lived through a hurricane. I was visiting some relatives in Fort Lauderdale in 1992 when Hurricane Andrew came through.
Yeah. You were in Fort Lauderdale?
No, I didn't. My relatives lived in Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
And it was nowhere near Fort Lauderdale. It was in Homestead, which is quite a few miles away.
Homestead is south of Miami, right?
Yeah. That was scary enough.
Yeah, I bet. Hurricane Andrew that actually went all the way up to the northeastern states.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I still have a lot of relatives that live in Florida. Some, most of them, not some, most of them moved out of the area though after that hurricane. They live up there in
really?
a couple in Cocoa Beach, St. Augustine, and Jacksonville now. I don't like Jacksonville though. I've been there 3 times. I don't know. That city is just really spread out. It's all over the place. I don't know if you've ever been there.
I think Jacksonville is the largest city in Florida, or the most populous. I think, right?
I don't think population wise. I think area wise.
Is it area?
Yeah, area wise. I don't think. I would say Miami is probably the most
population.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on that, but I'm just hazarding a guess. So what you got there, Jay?
Okay. I never had that one in, man, but I saw people
I did have that one actually. It was decent. It was pretty good.
Okay.
I put that on Alcohol Eggs, I think, last week.
Oh, that's right. And it had that kind of pink and gold.
Yeah. Yeah. It was good. It's worth a try if you like sour beers.
Okay. Well, we'll see if James joins back. Here's some strange thing that I bought at, I can't remember if it was Mathern's or Rouse's, but I got a good price on it. It's called Euphoria by Pacific Rim. Look at that crazy.
Euphoria?
Yeah, look at that crazy artwork.
Yeah.
And it is aromatic white wine from Washington State. It's actually wine. And the alcohol is 12%.
Right.
So that would be interesting.
Was that 16 ounce?
No, it's just a 12-ounce can. But at 12%, you better watch it.
1% for each ounce.
Right. I'm going to update those comments in a moment, yo. Now, another one I bought, and I got a good price. This is 7%. It's called Cafe. Cafe. It's from Urban South. It is a cold brewed coffee, Vietnamese style coffee stout. Brewed with locally roasted coffee and lactose sugar. So now I don't know who does the coffee because we've got two huge coffee mills in New Orleans, Eastern New Orleans. Folgers. Folgers has, they say it's the biggest coffee mill in the world. There's two of them. And when you drive by them, you can smell the coffee roasting. It's pretty good. One is the regular Folgers coffee mill, and the other one is their gourmet coffee. And I think a lot of those are sold under other brand names. And so people think, I'm drinking this gourmet coffee, not that stinking, rotten, mass-produced Folgers garbage, and they don't realize it's coming from them. So this will be good for Stout Sunday. And by the way, y'all, Stout Sunday, Sunday morning, 10:30 Eastern time.
So we'll see that again in 2 days?
Yes, I think so. I bought 2 cans of this. I thought I only bought one, but I actually bought 2. This is a double IPA brewed with natural flavors. It's Evil Twin, The Art of Mixing a Beer, Passion Fruit Margarita. Because, that's the thing these days, flavored beer.
Yeah. That sounds kind of good, though.
Yeah, Passion Fruit Margarita. Here's one that a store manager gave me. He gave it to me today.
Uh-oh.
He tell you to do a review on it?
Well, of course, he knows I'm going to. He gave it to me because look what happened. Somebody dropped it and it got all bent up. And then the top of the can was bent. So it probably hit the floor and then rolled and he said, well, nobody's going to want to buy it, but it's not open. It didn't compromise the seal. He said, you could have it. Now, who was going to turn that down? Not
you know how many beer cans I find in the store just like that? They still sell them.
Hey, I wasn't going to tell him. I wasn't going to tell the store manager, oh, no, go ahead. It'll sell.
Yeah.
I just said, thank you.
So what kind of beer is it?
It's a tart wheat ale with red currant, cherry, and passion fruit. And it's by a company called Ology Brewing. So, and looks cool, huh? Passion fruit.
What store did you pick these ones up from?
6% alcohol. I don't want to name the store in this case because it was given to me,
I wonder, is that contract brewed by 12%, that beer?
12%?
Is that contract brewed?
It says beer created. Oh, good observation. It says beer created by Ology Brewing Company of Tallahassee, Florida. Oh, but it doesn't say brewed by them, does it? It says created.
Yeah, you might have to look that up because the artwork looks so familiar from some of the beers I've bought recently. A lot of contract brewing going on out of 12% out of North Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah, it doesn't say. It's strange.
That's a good point because mine says brewed and canned by.
That's good. Brewed and canned by. There you go.
But I'll tell you what, this can says, drink fresh, keep cold, Tallahassee, Florida, USA. I don't know. I got to do some research. Good observation, yeah. Dr. Dave. I would have never thought of that. Next and last, people are saying, thank goodness.
Nobody said that.
But some people like to see all this kind of stuff. This was from a company called Decadent Ales.
I
bought 2 cans.
Guy's walking around with a cake.
I bet that's good. I bet that's pretty good. Yeah.
He's wearing a cake, and it says apple crumb cake.
Mm-hmm.
It is brewed at Decadent Ales in Mamaroneck, New York.
Mamaroneck.
Okay.
Right?
Mamaroneck, New York. Must be a Indian name.
I've been there many times.
Okay. So it's to the brewery or just the town?
No, the town. I didn't even know they had that brewery there.
It's a Mosaic dry hop double IPA with apple puree and cinnamon, and it's 8.6. 8.6. Friends, do not drink a pint of 8.6% ale and then decide you're okay to drive. I don't think that's such a good idea, my friends.
That's what I would say. Yep.
Because you might think it's okay, but then you could be looking down the end of a flashlight.
Yep.
Or
Leave
you are
that
looking down the
McDonald's
end
run
of a
for later.
Right.
I
If
got
you are
booted,
looking down,
I got booted off the internet because of a thunderstorm.
Oh, you didn't pay your cable bill, man. That's what it was.
No, I got automatic. I got the automatic payment set up.
Okay, I'm just having fun.
Yeah, I know. It's been, it happens sometimes.
Is that cable or is that DSL?
No, it's cable Spectrum.
Oh, okay.
You have Spectrum in New Jersey too?
Yeah.
I have Spectrum down here.
I got Spectrum here too.
I didn't have it in New York. The big one over there was called Optimum. It used to be called Cablevision.
Yes, Optimum used to be called Cablevision, but they after your initial contract expires, they really jack you up at Optimum.
Yeah, they give you a decent deal for the first year. The triple play thing for the phone, the TV, and the internet. It's like $100, but then it skyrockets after that.
Yeah, we had Verizon FiOS at the house, but we had an issue. We had a similar issue with them. They also started jacking up things. That interesting beer that Dr. Dave had that he showed at after the German Pilsner. Did you open that up, Dr. Dave?
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, how was it? Good.
Oh, this is not for lightweights. This is 8.3% and 90 IBUs.
That's good.
Yeah, this has a very good tropical fruit aroma and flavor. Like I said, it's got that guava, melon, pineapple, and passion fruit. And then when you drink it, you get an extremely dry and bitter finish on this. It's a hotbed delight, no doubt. Yeah.
So mine is somewhat similar, just a lot less ABV. I got 4.5.
Oh, 4.5%?
Yeah.
Wow. Well, they can make really good beer with low alcohol. They don't need to jack up the alcohol for sure.
No, it still tastes good.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about the taste. I could care less about the alcohol. Just that this one happens to be a high alcohol beer. That's it is what it is.
Sure.
Best case scenario, yeah.
Double IPA is at least 8%. Anything that says double or imperial, that's going to be at least 8%. Yep.
Yeah, I guess I'm not really sure what they.
Oh, that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
Is it?
Yeah, that's how it works. Anything that says double IPA or imperial, it's a minimum of 8%. At least it should be, because I've seen beers around town that say imperial, and then you get them home and they're 7%. I don't know what that's all about. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've seen that too.
But technically, they're supposed to be at least 8.
Yeah, Ronnie's beer looked a lot like a New England IPA or a Sierra.
Yeah, I mentioned that. It did look like it. Yeah. Looked like one of those Eric beers.
Hey, the fart doctor, Jay just said, check and see if that free beer is expired.
It wasn't. It was actually only it was only canned in March, and at that high,
that's fine.
At 6%. It's 6% in a sealed can. March 31st too. So it's the last day of March.
April, May. That's only 2 months old. That's nothing.
Yeah, nothing. And somebody tried to call me. I told him I would call him back. I was on a video call. He said, okay. What was I going to say? Dr. Dave, is that a one for the road beer or definitely a stay-at-home beer?
Oh, if you had one and done, I would drive. But any more than one, no. These days, if I go out to a bar, which is rare these days for me, it's a one and done. I don't care what the alcohol is. If it's a 5%, 10%, one and done, I'm finished. I just don't drink and drive these days. I think that a little bbit of age has put a little bit of wisdom on me.
Yeah, they put my
Yes,
brother
man.
through hell just for having a one and done and driving. Yeah, he had to go through a lot of shit.
You know what though? You have to know your limitations. If some people can't handle a 10% and then drive, I know my limitations. If I get in the car and I don't feel like I can drive, I don't. I go have a pizza somewhere or Subway or something, or I'll call somebody. I don't have to drive home. I don't have to. Oh,
Yeah, that's what they got Uber for.
exactly. There you go. Cheers to that.
Uber, Lyft.
My neighbor next door who died by his own gunshot wound, by the way. But anyway, he told me, yeah, that was a mess. That was 7 years ago.
Oh my
That
goodness.
was a bad situation. But we used to talk all the time, and he would every Saturday night. And he was a part-time policeman too. He retired, but every Saturday night he would get his oil and put it in his hair and get his hair all combed nice, get his nice shirt on, drive into a area very close to New Orleans, about like 2 miles from New Orleans. It was the area called Fat City. It's still there. Fat City is kind of a nightclub area. And he'd go to this place he knew, and he would drink and talk to everybody, drink beers. He'd say, I always know it's time to leave when I knock over the cup. Like if he's talking, he knocks the cup over. He said, okay, that's it. But that's probably too far past the time to leave, right?
No doubt. No
Yeah,
doubt.
probably.
Once you've knocked the cup over, that probably means you should have left maybe an hour before.
But
But
if he was a police
would
officer, he might be all right.
Yeah.
yeah, you're right.
You just get out of jail free card, I guess. Huh?
He was a former sheriff's deputy. Yeah, but I can remember I would see him in the yard over there. Be about 6:30 in the evening on Saturday night. He'd be combing his hair with that comb and getting his shirt adjusted, and there he was, off to Fat City.
Yeah,
oh
the
man.
Sierra Nevada reminds me a lot of New England IPAs too, in appearance. Very
Some of them are, yeah. They
hazy.
have they have a hazy IPAs.
Now here's one of the viewers. He knows about Fat City. Yeah, the hazy IPA. Drago's. Yeah, Drago's is a great place to eat. They have the char-broiled oysters. And my grandfather was good friends with Drago Satinovic. Now, Drago Satinovic started that place, and he was from Croatia. And when we would go eat there, my grandfather, they'd say, hey, they'd be talking, oh, yeah. And so, but my grandfather passed away 4 years ago at age 96.
Wow.
He was just almost 97, but he didn't make it to 97. And Drago died a few years ago too. He was very old, but the family still owns it. I went to see my grandfather in the hospital when he was at the end. He was a medical doctor. He was a surgeon, and his father was a family doctor. And my grandfather was laying in the bed, and he was looking at the charts. He's laying in the bed looking at the charts, and he's saying, look, see that? He said, that's it. When you got these numbers, you're out. There's no hope. I said, I'm sorry. I said, I'm sorry. He said, what do you expect? I'm 96 years old. What do you think's going to happen when you're 96? That was his attitude. You get to 96, you're almost 97, you can't complain.
Yeah.
So he was like telling the doctors, like, do this, do that. Don't worry about that. That's not going to, whatever.
Yeah. So he knew exactly what was going on.
There was no elixir. You didn't have any old-fashioned elixir from the old days. No elixir.
My grandfather believed in like the program theory that your body was programmed to die, and that after around 90 years, you could just forget it because it's going to break down by design, and you're going to go out and make room for the next gang. So he wasn't worried about it at all. He was just laying there like, oh, well,
They call that the telomeres. The length of the telomeres determine your your supposed lifespan. But, you know, I mean, the human body back in the day used to go a lot longer than 96. It's just the stress of modern living, you know.
The way he looked at it was that he landed at Normandy in 1944. Later that year, he was in the Battle of the Bulge at Stavelot. He survived that. So he figured he was playing with house money since 1944, you know?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
But he didn't like to talk about World War II too much. I remember him talking about when they had that German rocket attack on their MASH unit. Well, you know, he was a medic, so he operated on people. He didn't care about getting hurt. Huh?
They have pretty advanced scientists, the Germans. They still do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just said it was so cold. You know, he just remembered how cold it was. And then when they had that rocket attack, he didn't care about getting hurt or anything. But he said he felt terrible because they had this nurse and she got killed and she was 26 years old. And when he saw the nurse that was 26 and dead, well, he said that he didn't like that, you know. But he then he had to go into these concentration camps before it ended. And he said that was terrible to go in these concentration camps because you'd have to kind of like shake each person to see if they were too weak to say like I'm alive, you know. So you'd have to kind of. He said you didn't want to be in that situation, believe me. Anyway, sorry to bring down the chat, but I just thought I'd mention it.
I'll be right back.
Always good to hear about history.
Yeah, he loved history, you know.
Hey, what's
Here
happening?
comes the Peter.
Good evening, gentlemen. Can y'all hear me pretty good?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right, just got this laptop yesterday. So, hi everybody, long time no see.
From Mobile, Alabama.
Yes,
Feel.
very humid today.
I bet.
I needed to kind of remove myself from all that's going on in the world. Let's talk some beer. And it was a very humid day. I'm sure, Jay, you know how humid it was today being in this region.
What's up, John?
And, hey, Bonnie, how you doing? James, Professor Dave, been a long time. How everybody's doing? I am drinking Miller 64. I never thought I'd be drinking this, but it is a hot day today. I've had 3. It's my 4th one.
You watching your calories?
It is extra light beer, calories, 64 calories, 2.8% ABV.
Nice.
And
Is that what it is? 2.8?
It's very humid, and it's almost 7 o'clock local time here in Mobile, and it's still humid outside. So this is a good beer to have.
I knew it was low. I didn't know it was 2.8.
Yeah. When I did the review of this the first time, I said, well, if you want something, drink water. But you know what? As I'm 44 years old, I'm getting a little bit older right now, and I'm trying to watch everything I'm doing, how I eat, and sometimes Miller 64, you know, it's not too bad to have, and
Sure.
nothing wrong with it. So
I've had that before. When that first came out, I bought a 12-pack of it.
Yeah.
And I told the guy when I brought it up to the counter, I said, I'm watching my calories. And he just looked at me like he didn't even care. He's just like, get out of here.
Sorry. I was on a Facebook page, and I had about this non-alcoholic beer group, and I said, "Hey guys, if I drink Miller 64 or maybe Budweiser Select 55 or one of those beers, does that still make me an alcoholic?" Hey, just a question. Is low? The alcohol's low on these beers, so
What they say?
they kind of look at me and told me, "Get go the F on," you know. So
You'd be the worst alcoholic. You'd be the worst alcoholic ever to drink Bud Select 55.
yeah.
And a mustache looks pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
just trying to keep it.
I thought it was Tom Selleck. I thought it was Tom Selleck joining when you first.
I love it. I love it. Hey, I love this mustache. The guy that played Victor on still plays Victor. On the Young and the Restless, Eric Braeden. Now you can barely see his mustache right now since he's older. But when he played Victor, his mustache is nice and thick. That's kind of how I want my mustache to be, nice and thick. Just full.
What do you give that beer?
What'd you say? Say that again.
What do you rate that beer?
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I know for all the really hardcore beer drinkers, they say, man, it's just like when I did the review, they'll say, man, just drink some water. But but to me, it is a good beer, and if you're trying to watch everything, and also you don't want to get yourself a little too rowdy, this is something you should have. So for that reason, not getting yourself a little too loopy and too, jacked up, I would give this beer a B. So.
A B, okay. Now, Ronnie, what do you? I'm gonna jump to Ronnie, and then I'm gonna show y'all something. I'm gonna show y'all a few more things about my grandpa. What, Ronnie? What do you score that beer?
This guy, I like it. I wish it was a little bit stronger. Maybe like a 5.5 instead of a 4.5. But it's very enjoyable. I consider buying it again. Maybe a single instead of the whole 6-pack. I'm gonna give it an 87.
And what beer are you drinking, Ronnie?
A B?
Let me show
That's
you.
good.
It's called Tropical Vibes. It's out of a Florida brewery out of Gainesville.
Okay.
It's got guava and some fruit in it. It's like a light fruity beer.
There was a beer I did from Terrapin, Luau, I believe it was. I did from Terrapin. I reviewed that one.
I've seen that. I don't think I've ever had that one yet.
It was sort of a tropical type thing, had guava, a couple of papaya, other different exotic flavors and whatnot. And I gave it for what it was. I gave it a B plus.
Okay. Do you like Terrapin usually?
I do. I just got a can of their recreational ale, which is, I guess, is a pale ale or IPA. I think it could go both ways, but
yeah, pale ale.
Yeah, so I got that. A lot of head on that recreational every time you pour it, but I've had that. I think their High Five IPA. I know, Jay, you gave it the first time you reviewed it. You gave it a B score. You thought it was so for an IPA. I think I remember. Yeah.
So yeah, it was good. I just don't like that style too much. Okay, I want to show y'all something. I was talking about my grandfather, and so now my grandfather was born in 1919. My grandmother was born in 1927. All right. So in 1943, he was 23 or going on 23. And my grandmother was 16. She was in 10th grade. Now they started going together. All right. 22 years old. She was 16. Now she told her mother, when he gets back from the war, we're going to get married. My great grandmother said, if he gets killed in the war, all you're going to have is a dead boyfriend. But if your husband gets killed in the war, you get a check every month. So my grandmother said, yeah, let's get married. And then when you come back from the war, we'll have children, and whatever. So they got married in 1943. They got married in 1943 when my grandmother was 16 and my grandfather was 22. Like I say, almost, going on 23. So here's their wedding picture. That's my grandmother when she was in high school, 16 years old.
It's a cute couple.
And there's so that's Ethel Jane, her name, but they called her Sammy. Her nickname was Sammy. And there's the grandfather, Harry.
Oh, this is on your mom.
Yeah, and you see his Army medical designation. So that's their, it's kind of glary, but that's their, and then he was off to the war,
Do you think they ever would have known they'd be on the internet?
No, they wouldn't have known what is the internet. All right. So then here is what I have from what he wore. This is what he wore when he was at the Battle of the Bulge. So this is the helmet that he wore. Of course, the netting is dry.
You could wear that. your political shows.
I could, huh? That's a good prop. Come on now. It latches, but I got it wrong. All right, so you see his rank. It actually went higher before the war ended, but they didn't have time to update it for he got they kicked everybody out the service when the war ended because of no use having all these people. But it had this netting, and you put the leaves and whatever in it, and so that's what he wore. It's very heavy steel. It fits.
You look good.
Be good dawn buster.
Yeah, good dawn busters.
Yes, and
during the winter time.
If riots come here, I could use it in a practical sense.
Mm.
If you know what I mean. Okay, anyway, it still works. But we used to play out in the yard with this helmet. I used to play when I was 8 years old. We'd be playing war. You never knew that at the time. It didn't seem like it was really too old. But now, it's like an antique. But we used to play with these things, all his old. I remember when they had guys from World War II that were still in their 40s. It's hard to believe.
Dawn busters of the bulge.
Yeah. We're going to get off the air pretty soon, y'all, because I only got 5 hours of sleep last night because we had a Knights of Columbus meeting that went on. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Went on and on and on.
And at the end, everybody had Bud Light.
That's what they drank. And they drink mixed drinks too. But Bud Light, Coors Light, they love drinking that kind of stuff, What else? Let's see.
What do you got to do to get into the Knights of Columbus?
You have to be 18 years old.
It's through the church, right?
And you have to be a practicing Catholic.
Uh-huh.
Practicing.
What else? That's it?
Yeah, pay your dues, which is $40 a year. Nothing.
Oh, by the way,
Go to
just say something. If you join the Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying it's kind of interesting to be in this organization, But what now?
I said, if you want to get a real good dinner, a good steak, go to a VFW in your town because man, they really know how to cook some damn good steaks, spaghetti and meatballs, and everything else. So.
It depends who's there. The VFWs I'm familiar with, they just rent it out to whoever wants to pay.
Yeah.
They have parties there. Then they have a bar, but I've never really seen them have like a restaurant area.
Yeah, that's just they'll have maybe a few items. They'll have maybe steak, spaghetti, a burger, whatever. Certain nights will be different things, but one night I pulled into one. It was a steak night, whatever, and I walked in. I was just a Joe Schmo, and I had a steak, and I said, "Man, that was probably the best steak I've ever had."
We have actual dinners at our Knights of Columbus where all the guys are cooking. And we have cars down the street, wrapped around the street. We sold incredible amounts of food starting right when that Toyota Corolla virus started.
The Corolla virus?
We started doing, Toyota Corolla virus. We started doing the dinners.
Don't forget the Celica. The Celica was good cars too.
Yeah, you're right. We did the dinners and fried fish, fried shrimp, hamburgers, and we just sold them like crazy. And then we did some more dinners, and people were just mobbing that place, man. And we could barely keep up with. And they loved the food, obviously. Why would they have a long line if they didn't love the food, So it was pretty amazing how much. They had a number of cooks, and it was just like on point madness with those 8 or 9 dinners. But so anybody got anything else final to say? I have Dawn Busters tomorrow morning with 2 kind of low grade American blended whiskey. So don't get too excited, folks. If you want to save time and effort, don't watch.
All right, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to set my alarm for 6 o'clock.
I got some more credible products coming up though. In about a week, I got Crown Royal coming into play. You know, that's something more worthwhile, but it's kind of bland too, as I found out from tasting it. Anybody else got anything else to say? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Oh my God.
Just wish everybody a great weekend. Just be safe, have fun, drink some good beers or good wine or good, good spirits, and enjoy the weather. It depends where you guys are. If the weather's nice or not so nice. Try to
Well, it's nice here. Yeah.
Wear your mask
Yeah.
or don't.
Yeah. Wear your mask.
The doctors retracted their health warnings for hydroxychloroquine. They said it wasn't tested in a proper scientific way. It was very unscientific in their determination. It was just based on observation, so they retracted it. So it turns out that internationally, it really does work, but you have to take it with high amounts of zinc. But yeah, so they change their mind every week.
Yeah, what phase are we in now? Is it 1, 2? You can't even keep track of this stuff.
I know in our state we're in phase 2 right now, so adopted state. Excuse me. I'm now no longer in New Jersey, so. James, I know you've been posting some stuff about New Jersey. I've been listening. I've been getting a little bit.
You're lucky you're not in New Jersey, man.
Yeah.
You should be happy you're down here.
Well, it's been relatively quiet, but the thing is that you can take your dog to get trimmed, but you can't go to a regular barbershop or a hair salon for a person. And yeah, we can take the dog. But, phase 2 for Jersey would be non-essential businesses with limited capacity opening. But that's going to happen. It's supposed to happen by June 22nd.
Man.
The hair salons and everything in the restaurant dining areas are supposed to be reopening with, spacing the tables apart. And
they stopped using that essential word about a month and a half ago over here. You don't even hear them say essential, non-essential.
Yeah, like all the massage parlors in my area here, they closed them. But essential. Well, Florida is.
They were saying it for a while. I mean, they did use it back in like March, April.
Well, the massage parlors are back open here in Louisiana. I've never been to one, but everybody talks about it. I've never had a massage, but I guess I'll have to go to one of these Oriental spas, see what the hoopla is about.
See what the big deal is about,
I like to exercise.
James can tell us all about that, James, can't you?
Yeah.
You
they know you a short
bring
time.
the camera and record it and post it on your channel, Jay.
You have $60. You very handsome. What? No money? You're not so handsome anymore.
Oh, okay.
I'll probably make a video about it.
There's my guy right there.
Anyways, we got another person. Scott White, I hadn't seen you in a million years.
Yeah, it's been a while, Scott. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you guys?
Good.
I get in there. What's up, man?
Hey, Scott, this is a fellow Floridian right here. Ronnie, he lives in Clearwater, man.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. That's where I used to live when I was down there.
Did you?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I never met you before.
Scott, are you going to bring back beer reviews?
At this point in time, I really don't know. I'm just at this moment, just chilling with the norm.
PBR, all right. American Classic.
Look at that.
You can review that.
Well, we'll
highlight
you for a moment. I'm not going to be on much longer, but y'all could get your own hangout started, I guess, on another channel. But Scott's going to tell us about Pabst Blue Ribbon. He did a lot of Samuel Adams beers. He did a lot of Samuel Adams beers.
the only thing that I can say about this is that, I mean, it's just your everyday American, good old, craft lager. But at the same time, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, if you want a really good drinking, easy drinking beer, this would be it. And I'm personally going to go with this over what I would go with like a Budweiser, or Miller, or Coors. I find that this has more flavor to it. So that's just what I would pick up if I was at Walmart or at your local gas station or something.
How would you compare it to a Busch?
Oh, to me, this has got more flavor and doesn't have that metallic flavor to it. Because, I mean, for me personally, I find that Busch has especially coming from a can, it definitely has more of a metallic flavor to it. And even in the brewing process, you can pick up a lot of those metallic flavors, especially when, if it's a lager. You can still pick them up slightly, even if it's a traditional ale. This has got more hop flavor to it than any of those.
How about a Coors Banquet?
Now, one of my really good online friends, that's his go-to beer is Coors Banquet. He swears by it over pretty much everything. I mean, I don't know if this is more sweet or more malty than a Coors Banquet, but I definitely would say that it's got more hop flavor than a Coors Banquet. Coors Banquet is just, I mean, to me, that it's just, that's what you drink if you're, I mean, if it's offered to you, and that's just my opinion. I mean, it's still a good
Banquet
beer.
Definitely has its fans.
Yeah.
We recently had a little tournament, an American Adjunct Lager tournament.
Yeah.
And Coors went pretty far, but
nice.
I think who ended up winning that, Ron? Was it PBR win? Yeah, the one out the whole thing. I think Coors came in second place. Beat Budweiser.
How do you score that? How do you score that Pabst Blue Ribbon? A, B, C, D, or F? Obviously not an F because you're drinking it.
I mean, if it's, I would
Just
rate
like,
the top. I would go. Bud is my least favorite. My dad used to grow up with like Miller's, especially like Miller High Life, stuff like that. I even believe that if I could remember, my dad and my grandfather even used to pick up like some MGD 64.
Yeah.
And now you can't even find that anymore. It's been discontinued.
MGD 64.
Well,
yeah.
It's been renamed as Miller 64. It's still around. It's called Miller 64
tonight.
Okay.
And that's what I'm drinking tonight.
That's what John's drinking.
We can't find it nowhere up here.
Yeah, it's Miller.
I never heard of it.
Scott,
I heard of the Miller.
How do you rate? Yeah, we get Miller 64 common here. How do you rate that beer? Like an A, a B, a C, a D? The one you're drinking.
Pabst, I give it a solid, C. And that's for what I'm used to drinking. But at the same time, if I'm looking for something that I'm going to go to that's cheap and easy, I'd definitely give it like a C, C plus.
Sounds fair enough. Sounds fair to me.
Well, guys, I'm sorry. I got to run. It's been fun. Peace out, y'all.
Well, thanks for joining everybody, and Scott for making that surprise appearance. And I hope that's not the last one. And so anytime you want to join, you're welcome. Of course, we're gonna maybe have another one day, maybe tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow, but maybe another super inclusive Saturday.
Just send me a link when you're going to have it, because I'm kind of out of the loop here lately. I haven't joined too much, so just send me a link when you're going to do something.
And another thing, if I forget to send the link, if you're ever watching that video, just make a comment about a link, and I'll put it in the comments, and then you can just click on it.
Yeah, cheers to that. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm sort of absent-minded, so I oftentimes will forget to do.
Now, if we end this live chat, will we be able to still talk among us, or how does that work?
Yeah, y'all can keep talking. I'm gonna get off, but y'all can talk as long as you'd like. Okay, thanks, folks, for watching the video.
Cheers.
Bros.
Close.